Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really is just an excuse for me to talk to some of my very talented friends. And I have another one here with me today. He was one of the contestants on the Gauntlet Season 2, and you may have seen him running around like a chicken with his head cut off at RTX this last year. Stan Lewis.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing excellently. As I was just telling you, I just went out to lunch and kind of full, and I'm in that Sunday afternoon lull phase where I'm
Your
just kind of
siesta phase where you just want to sleep and
Yes.
get more fat.
but
all
I have
over.
a very bright light in my eyes right behind me, so I don't think
Keep
I
it
should be able to fall asleep in front of it.
I'm like a recluse. I shut all of the shades in here and just cut on the lights to try to get the mood right. Because me and Tim really didn't see each other very much during RTX. Like, we
No.
knew each other, we'd see each other, but it was like, oh,
It
it's Tim. I'm over here though, so I'm not gonna talk, you know?
it ended up being always
Yeah.
in passing because we always ended up less than 500 feet away
Yeah,
from
the
each other.
entire time.
But this is the first time we've actually been able to talk for an extended period of time, just
I was
because
saying
of
it's
how
like it's
busy
like a first
and
date.
frantic the Guardian activities are.
It was really busy, but it was so
What
fun.
what were you having to do?
Oh man, people are gonna hate it. I was in security, and we got moved to that humongous block of people in front of autographs trying to get into the autograph line.
Oh, right.
And so we had to tell people to like go away, and I hate it. It was really fun, but obviously like you don't want to tell people like from Australia like I'm sorry you don't get to have Bernie's signature or
Of course not.
and then there I had one and like a mom like cussed me out because her two kids they're from England and they're like I came from England just so they can meet Joel and Gus and they're not going to and I was like I'm so sorry I can like we can't help everyone but it sucked.
No.
It was still a really fun job but
I mean,
there's sad
and it
parts.
really sucks. And it's one of those things that
Yeah.
when they talk about guardianship, they tout all the wonderful things that you're going to do, but that's one of the bad things that you're going to have
Yeah.
to do as well. Is sometimes you're going to have to be that bad guy
Yeah.
for the company
Yeah.
because they don't want to have to be that. That's why they bring you in, so they don't have to be that,
Yeah.
and they can enjoy their time and be the good face of the company that they want to be. But order can still be maintained.
Yeah, it's somewhat maintained. You were a PA, right?
Yeah.
You got moved
I
around
was-
everywhere, right? Weren't you?
I was assigned to Kathleen, which she is so fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, let me just go ahead and throw that out there. So fantastic. But she was only around 2 days out of the 3. So that first day, I was running around assisting other PAs whose charges may have gotten away from them. Gavin. And ended up just kind of running around finding where the crowds had become and then rescuing whomever was in the center of that crowd because it was always somebody.
What was the worst experience you had? Did you have like a worst like oh gosh this is out of
I
hand?
won't say worst experience because quite frankly I enjoy being in those high pressure situations.
Yeah.
That's when I get to have fun. I got to take the Game Grumps wanted to go to the gunner booth where they were selling the high-tech glasses that don't make it so that your computers don't hurt your eyes, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting mobbed around this booth, which was an inflatable booth that had, for those who weren't there, an inflatable booth that had 4 different entrances, and I ended up having to post guardians at the entrance to each
So you like cut off the booth pretty much.
and just made a human wall because people were streaming in from all directions and I'm only one guy. I haven't perfected the shadow clone jutsu yet, man.
Not yet.
I am
You're getting
working
there.
so
You're getting
hard.
there.
But until then, I had to pull in some help
Yeah.
and ended up just kind of blocking off the booth for a little bit. But
People
that was
really like
probably
Game
the
Grumps.
most hectic
Yeah.
occasion. Just because of how little time they were there.
Them. And
Yeah,
it's just you and there's a couple of them. So it's like what do I do?
Yeah. Which
was pretty awesome.
thankfully they did kind of take turns. Aaron and Danny would go play run guard while Susie and Barry and Ross did their thing up at the counter, and then vice versa. So that did help out a little bit, but still, I had to get a solid man wall, which is my favorite kind of wall.
That's
And
it.
no.
I wish I could have been there. I don't know where the first day I think we were more like upstairs for part of the first day, and then they got moved down to autographs after like halfway through the first day, because
Right.
apparently at the beginning they were like people getting ran over like Target Black Friday stuff for a bit, and it
Yeah, they
changed.
started out only having a 1 hour waiting period down there for the signing,
Yeah,
and then they ended up starting going to 2 hours before,
yeah,
and there would just be a giant. Like, I understand that they tried to make it better by reusing the registration space
yeah,
once registration was no longer necessary.
yeah.
There's just
It's so many
there's
people.
so many people who want to see the same
Yeah.
things
I
and not enough physical space.
Yeah, last year, remember they had one like in the very like middle of the whole RTX, which
Oh,
was
sweet
crazy.
mother of pearl.
Were
And
you a
then you
Guardian
had,
last year?
yes,
Oh man,
I
so
was
you
a
had to deal
PA
with that.
last year as well. I was working over with Jack in the Achievement Hunter area, and those guys didn't escape. Like,
Yeah,
there was no getting away from that
yeah.
nonsense.
You
And
just
so they were there for 8, 9
they
hours a
just camped
day
out pretty much the whole time.
and only escaped long enough to either go to the panel that they were on or, well, that's pretty
That's
much the only
They
escape.
used the
Yeah, because they
bathroom. They
got
didn't even
everything
go to
else
the
brought to them.
bathroom. They like
No.
used like little like bottles or something. They peed into bottles. They make you drink it too, just so you can
You
conserve
would be
energy.
amazed at what a PA is capable of doing for one of the staff members. Let's just leave it at that.
So I've heard they might try to do something a little bit different with autograph stuff next year. Have you heard anything? Or are they gonna do the same thing? Or
I don't know.
I
I
think
mean,
they.
the thing. Go ahead.
What would you recommend as a 3-time guardian, 2-time guardian? How many time guardian?
Just two.
Two?
Yeah. I've been 3 years, but I only started being a guardian after my first year.
What do you think they're
Um,
gonna? What do you think? What would you do, Tim, if you were in charge of RTX? What would you do?
the thing is, short of doing something like moving the signing area out to one of the panel rooms,
Yep.
maybe.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't. I don't know. And unfortunately, like, I don't want to say something like that because then that becomes my official
Yeah, it's like this
recommendation.
is what
And if
Tim.
the
This is Tim's point.
right, and if the idea that actually gets implemented is better, then I'm forever cemented as the guy who
Yeah.
had the idea dumber
Yeah.
than the one that actually
Well,
happened.
Tim is so dumb.
Right. So
Yeah.
instead, I'm just going to say I hope they come up with a better solution at some point.
Yeah.
But I know that's what they said last year. We're going to try something different, and they're going to try something different until they find something that works.
Yeah, I just think, and they're just growing so fast. Like it's ridiculous. Like they're only a small group of people, and there's like
But
thousands
what
and
do you do?
thousands. Yeah,
Have two weekends?
yeah. I don't or use
Go
the
go the
time
PAX route and have it 2 times a year.
the time turner. Is that what it is from Harry
Yeah.
Potter? Yeah, get a time
Yep.
turner. That's what I would probably
Yep.
have to do.
Those are totally a thing. I've seen them
Yeah.
hanging up at the very conventions that we're talking about here.
And I have my Marauders map right here that
Oh, nice.
expands into like a humongous map.
I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Exactly.
Is that yeah?
Yep.
I thought
Yep.
yeah.
I'm a huge Harry Potter. Anyway, RTX was fantastic.
We were actually
It was great.
I was having a discussion with my roommate and Jiminy James, my good
Yep.
friend James, and Ben Final Cut Men on Twitter, about the Harry Potter movies and how they were translated over from the books and yada 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 yada.
Yes,
So
I was one of those terrible people that didn't read Harry Potter, but I watched all of the movies, so I'm one of those bad people. I'm
gotcha.
one of those people. But Game of Thrones, I've read almost all of Game of Thrones now, so I'm trying to correct my past sins by reading those at least.
My roommate, I love him,
Yeah.
but sometimes he just won't stop about a thing.
Oh, is this Game of Thrones? Is this a bad subject?
Well, it depends on how you look
Yeah.
at it because starting after like the BBC series of Robin Hood,
Yeah.
so around like 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of ran out of patience for the long form drama.
Oh, yeah.
And so Game of Thrones struck me as exactly that, a medieval times long form drama that
Yeah.
I will watch when it's done
When it's
in its
completely done.
entirety
Yeah.
and later on, kind of like I'm going to do with Mad Men at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Like
I've heard that's amazing. I haven't watched
I've watched the first season and a half of Breaking Bad and
Yeah.
then the last episode.
All right, yeah.
And
You
so,
skipped a lot of it, but that's
well, I just happened to be hanging out with some
yeah.
friends who were watching it, and I didn't feel like going anywhere because, why alienate yourself for something that ultimately you don't really care about? It's the journey in those kind of
Yeah.
shows.
Mm.
So it doesn't really matter what point you pick up in. That's just the part of the journey where you're now seeing. And normally there aren't that many allusions to things that have already happened. So there's still surprises.
I've only watched the first season, so I literally have no idea what happens.
Right.
And but I want to.
And so,
It's on Netflix. Like almost all of them are on Netflix. So I want to go and just like steamroll through all of them, which I'm sure I
right.
will at some point. Whenever I get sick, I'll go and watch them all.
That's usually
Something
a
like
good
that.
time to do it.
Yeah.
So when this season started airing, with Cosmos coming on right after it, as well
Oh,
as
yeah.
the new John Oliver Last Week Tonight, all on Sunday night, we would end up just gathering a bunch of friends. And
Yeah.
at first, I would kind of duck out during Game of Thrones and come up here and do some work, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But that just ended up becoming too much work. And at about episode 3 of the last season, where bad things really start happening to people.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I officially picked up watching the show.
Mhm.
And people hear that and they're like, "Oh my god, you did what?"
You didn't watch the first 2 episodes? You don't even know who Ned Stark is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Except I do. I
Yeah,
mean, he's a guy who
everyone
gets
knows who he
killed.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing about that show. Even if you don't know, you're still able to make the jokes that Daenerys' name couldn't fit on a Starbucks cup.
Yep,
You know,
Yeah.
because that's how much it's permeated into
It's everywhere.
society.
Yeah. It's
So.
literally everywhere now.
But anyway, let's get to the subject that everybody wants to know about. The Gauntlet Season 2.
Oh, yeah,
Ha-
yeah. That was, I was on that. It was fun.
The audition process started at RTX
Yep. It was
last year.
Last year, RTX. It was, I didn't even know about it until like the day before. I think Matt sent out like a forum post or something, and it was like, hey,
Yeah.
we're tryouts, come try out. And so I watched the first season, and I said, hey, this would be fun. You can be on a season and just play video games. I was like, why not try out for this? And so that was my first RTX last year. And so I looked at the schedule, and there was like 4 different games that they were trying out. It was Trials Fusion, Explosion Man, Geometry Wars, and Battle Black Theater. And I had only played Trials Fusion and Battle Black Theater. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'll do the Trials Fusion because it's the only one that I'm like sort of good at. So the first hour, there was like different times, Friday and Saturday, when you can do it. And Friday, the first game was Trials Fusion. And so you get in line. There's like 8 people at a time go, and it's on one course, and it's like get the fastest time. And the top 4
Yeah.
people move on to the next round. And so I got in line, totally sucked the first time. And I was like, can I get in line again and do this? And they said, sure, you can do it until the time's up of like, I think it was like 4 hours you could try it.
Of
And
this
so-
particular
Of
block.
that particular game. And so
Yeah.
for 4 hours, I got in line again and again and again because I was like, I want to get on.
How many
this.
other people did that?
A lot of people did it. And so I probably went through the line like 9 times within 4 hours. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. And eventually there was like groupings of 8. And they're like, we're getting close to the end. I don't know if you're going to make it again through line. And I was like, well, I'm going to try. And so I got in line, and then they counted off like 8 people. And I was like the 7th person of the 8. And they're like, all right, you're the last group. Go through. And so I was like, yes. So it was like the Naruto music kicked in, like my eyes were shimmering and stuff as I was playing Trials Fusion. It was super lame. And so anyway, I made it through and got the time. I was in like the 4th place time by like point, I don't know. It was like 0.1 of a second. I don't know. It
So
was
with
barely.
the last effort.
Yeah, it was literally the last run. I was like, if I don't make it, I'm just gonna give up and just enjoy RTX. Which you kids still enjoy RTX anyway. It was still really
Yes.
fun. And so anyway, I made it through. I was the 4th person. They got all my information down. But something I didn't know until Sunday, when then after all the information was up, they went to interviews with Joel. You know, the Joel where he's in the suit and he asked all the stupid like off the wall
Yes.
questions and and so that was super fun. And then Saturday was pretty much do whatever Saturday because we were already into the next round. So Sunday came around and they had all 4 people from each group. So there's like 16 of us. And then they're like, if you made it through the...
Real quick, before we get
Yeah.
too far ahead, let's go back to those interviews with Joel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Those were
How
great.
much prep do they give you, or did they just kind of throw you in?
It was literally none. They just said, go into this elevator and go up, and then you'll be directed where to go. And so we went up the elevator, and then they're like, okay, sit in this room. And they were like all super serious, like no one talked to us the whole time. They were just like, sit in this room and we'll get you. And then they pull one of us out at a time, and they pulled us by like the shirt, and they're like, here, come in here, then sit down. And there's like a big black armchair, so you couldn't really see who was sitting here. And so we walked around and then like sit on the couch, and it's like, oh, it's Joel. And he's super serious.
So he wasn't even facing you at the door.
No. So you don't even know who it is until you like sit on the couch, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's Joel. And then he asked so many, like they only used like, I don't know, probably an eighth of what they actually asked us, because they asked so many questions. Like one thing that actually said that was like kind of funny that I wish they had used was, it was like, what do Batman and Pac-Man have in common? And I said, neither of them have parents. And I was like, oh, that's really dark. But I said anyway, it was fine. But they didn't use it. Yeah. It was fine. Probably a little bit too morbid. So the interviews were really like completely just looked like an idiot, while Joel just had this huge like clipboard of like questions that he would go through and ask you. But they were really
I want to
fun.
say that's one of the sponsor videos is the missing interviews, where they kind of do more of them.
Yeah, they did they did an interview for the first round, which was like 20 minutes, and then they did another interview after we made it through the next round. They did another like 20-minute interview. So they must have had so much footage to go through to pick out just like, a few questions from each person.
So now we're on to Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday comes around, and they're like, if you made it through for a trial, like we need the Trials Fusion team over here. And 4 of us walk over, and then a 5th person walks over, and we're like, why is there a 5th person here? Like, they're like counting off. They're like, why are there 5 people? And like, they're like, I know you 4. Like, where's this person from? And it actually turned out to be Elon, the dude that actually won. He was there, and they said, yeah, there's like whoever's keeping like the tally didn't put his score in, and like officially, like they actually did mess up. Like the person was there, and like, hey, they were running the booth, and they said, yeah, I messed up. They said, well, we already did the interviews, so we'll just have a 5-person team. And his score was actually faster than mine, so if they had done it right, I would have been knocked out in the last round. But it was great because obviously we got through.
Yeah, they can't just do that.
Complete luck. And so they were like, okay, well, you guys just go up on stage. And so they were like, okay, now we're gonna do, since there's 17 people now, we're gonna do 8 people and then 9 people. So split us up into 2 groups. And like first group, we're gonna play Call of Duty. And so they drew names out of a bowl for who's gonna play Call of Duty. And the other game was like some racing game, and I suck at racing games. And so they called out 8 people, and they're like, oh yeah, we need 9 people. So they drew one more, and that was my name. They're like, okay, you're the last person, go play Call of Duty. And so I was like, yes, I can play Call of Duty. Even though it's a stupid first-person shooter, like, total.
It's fairly bog standard. If you've played one of them, you've played all of them. It doesn't matter what version
you're doing. So I was like,
yes,
I can play this, which I was so happy because I suck at racing games. So we played, they got the top 4 out of that. I got 2nd or 3rd or something. So I made it through that round. The other people did like Need for Speed, whatever it was at the time. I don't know, some Need for Speed game. They're all pretty much the same too. So then they put us through, and there's 8 of us left. And then I think it was just random, whoever they called after that. It was pretty much, we got an email from Doreen, the girl that does, or the lady that does all of their production stuff. Yeah. Said, hey, can you be here in Austin like September 20th through the 27th? And I said yes immediately. I was in class, and I got on my phone, and I was like, yes.
You damn Skippy, I can.
I know. I actually failed a class in college because I went to the Gauntlet, but it was totally worth it.
Oh my God, Stan.
Yeah, it was such a bad time. Like, it was right in that, like, it was September 20th through the 28th, something like that. It was like a 5-day shoot or 6-day. Yeah. But they wanted us there a day early, and so it was right at that important time of the semester, like where you're actually starting to learn stuff, and if you're not there for it, you're gonna get really far behind. And so I got so far behind. But
that sucks, man. Was it an important class?
Yeah, I mean, I retook it, and I passed it. I've graduated college now, so that's all. That's good.
Well, then hell, who cares? Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah, it didn't matter. And so, old news, under the rug. Parents totally were happy about it.
I mean, listen, I got the call to go to work while I was in school as well,
Yep.
and I took it and have not looked back since. It's a nice case when you can make it work out both ways.
Yeah.
But I got invited to work on a movie while I was in grad school. Shark Night 3D, little feature film, and you don't turn down stuff
Yeah, it's
like that.
I like Rooster Teeth a lot. My dad, okay, so my dad's a farmer, so I grew up on a farm. He literally has no idea what, because I graduated in video production. He has literally no idea what I do.
To
It's just
him,
like,
Rooster Teeth is a thing that doesn't exist.
yeah, he's like, what are like we
Roosters
have
don't
roosters.
have.
It's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? And so it's like, what's this game show? Um, they're gonna compete for stuff. It's for charity, but it'll still be really fun.
Yeah.
And so he was thinking it was like that Wipeout show, like a little like a physical challenge thing where we actually are running on stuff. And I was like, no, it's not.
Well, maybe there was that one episode.
The Sonic
but
episode,
that's,
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So anyway, then they called the four of us and or emailed us, and then we flew in and did the week of shooting it, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. And at first it was like, oh great, we're gonna go. It's gonna be like an Achievement Hunter team and Rooster Teeth team and internet celebrities, and we're like, crap, like all these people are super cool, and we are
And all
just
that
like,
crap.
and
You
we're
know,
like,
it's not that big a deal. You're just hanging out with everybody. It's cool.
it's like,
Deal with it.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're these four people that just play video games, and it's like, oh
Right.
gosh, we're gonna get made fun of the whole time, and that's pretty much what it was because they were all like, you guys think you're so good because you won through the competitions and stuff.
It's low hanging fruit, man.
Mhm.
That's what it is. You got picked on because you were the easiest.
Yeah, I
And,
know, because obviously, what you're gonna make fun of like Freddie Wong or like Greg Miller, like who are super.
Well,
you can make fun.
I mean,
of like, yeah.
he made fun of himself pretty well. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Greg was pretty freaking great on the show.
He was seriously perfect. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's such a jerk," but he's like super nice. He just wanted to play like he wanted to be like the evil person on the show, and he was pretty.
I love that he leveraged that into a panel at RTX.
Did you see
the
the
Greg
panel?
Miller Guide to Camping? No, I haven't seen it
No, I
yet.
didn't see
I
it
wonder
either,
if
but I
it's.
wanted to.
I wonder if it's up for stream anywhere. It probably is.
I'm sure. I think they recorded most of the streams.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the Gauntlet. It was super awesome. It was great. I loved it.
Good.
And that was my second time in Austin. The first time in Austin was RTX. And now
It's amazing to think that that was this time last year.
I know, it was just a year ago, yeah. And
Yeah.
then we're gonna be moving there in let me look at the calendar, like 2.5 weeks we're moving there to Austin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're moving to Austin.
Nice.
So,
Looking forward to having you here.
I know, we can
It's
finally
you
go to
and
Holmes
as well as Axiomat is moving here.
I know, and
Or excuse me, Matt from Achievement Hunter.
I know. That's so. I
And-
heard that they were. I
and
didn't see the
Jeremy as
panel,
well, I
but
believe.
I heard that they like asked a question, like they went up to ask a question, and then they said, "How do we get jobs at Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter?" Did you watch it or no?
No, I did. I was at the first one, but I missed the second one,
Oh, apparently
which
they.
I think is when that happened.
Yeah, it was like they asked a question, then they like pulled them up. They're like, "Are you a package deal?" And they're like, "Yeah." And so I didn't watch it, but I just heard. But it seemed pretty awesome. Like they've
Yeah.
been doing so much work in the community for a
So
super
long.
long time. So long.
Yeah.
So that's super awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
It'd be nice to have more friends
Mhm.
here. You know, always,
We can go to Home
always
Slice.
is.
I've never been to Home Slice before. So when we get there,
It'll
were
put you in a
saying-
bread coma.
because that's what you just had, right? You just had
Yes.
I just had Mexican.
I tried to go downtown. There's this wonderful little crepe place that I love to go to for brunch every Sunday morning.
Oh, yes.
But
You
I
like
wake
it
up at
English?
like 7 o'clock in the morning to go to this place.
Oh,
And I
woke up at,
tried to
think,
get
10:30
James
today.
and my roommate up.
At 7:30.
did-
There's no way.
Yeah, they did
Even
not
for
until like
the only time you
Go-
get up at 7:30 is like if your dog is dying or your cousin is like drowning. That's the only time
Yeah.
That's the only time I'd wake up.
I know, but it's a special treat that I like to do
Yeah.
for myself because they make the most amazing little crepes and they have like sweet cream ones that they make them giant and nice and thin.
Wait, what's
and
this
then
place
they'll
called?
spread Le Crepe Cafe downtown.
Le Crepe.
It's like literally cat a corner to the convention center.
Okay, I should have
But,
seen. I
um,
didn't. Well, from now on, I'll know to go to get crepes, and so I won't text you or anything, but I'll know. It's like, oh, it's Sunday. Sunday's the
You
day.
can just text me a crepe emoji, and I'll meet
I
you
was
there
like,
in
oh,
20.
Sunday's the day that Tim goes to get crepes, and so I'm sitting there with a newspaper, and I'm like, he should be here. He's not here. And then I'll look at Twitter, and I'm like, where's Tim? I look at, has he tweeted recently? I'm like, no, something must be wrong with Tim. So I call your family and like, where's Tim? Is he okay?
Oh no, oh no, the last thing I heard from him was that he fell into the river. It was a
know.
tweet that said,
I'm fine.
on my way to get crepes. Hope I don't fall in the river.
But and then
It
you
was a
take a
sad
picture,
day.
you take a selfie or something too. Like while you're drowning, your face is like purple.
The thing is, I don't have adequate selfie technology yet.
Really? What do you have? What phone do you have?
I have just an iPod
That's
and then my little flip phone, which I love my flip phone
flip
because
phone's
you know what I can do that everybody else
you can
can't?
flip it.
I can hang up on people properly, and that's
because
pretty
you can
freaking
hear
awesome.
the slap when you
Exactly. A
smack.
nice audible physical.
Yeah, because what on the iPhone you just like press this screen really loud, but it's okay. It's like
Not to mention that it actually goes for more than 3 days, or excuse me, more than 8 hours.
this is I just got an iPhone. I was on a really crappy carrier over here because I live in the middle of nowhere, and so they had nothing here, and so I was on like an old really crappy phone. But it can last for like days without needing to charge it. But
Exactly.
this iPhone out, I can go like RTX, it would die within a few hours because everyone used that the GroupMe, that app. Did you have to use?
Don't even get me
I
started.
know.
That thing is so worthless. Oh my god.
And people are still
God.
using it to like to do stuff. Like I haven't even looked at it recently, but people are still talking about.
I had something like 130 messages
Yeah.
at one point, and I deleted the app. I was like, I can't do it.
And there's one
I'm
for like,
using Wi-Fi from the convention center that 10,000, 15, 20,000 other people are using at the same time.
it's impossible.
And I don't have 3G capability.
Yeah.
I don't have really that good enough of a device to actually run the thing as quickly as you need to.
What kind of iPod do you have?
Just like a fourth generation,
Yeah.
you know, one of the more recent ones, but still not great.
Yeah.
It takes pictures like a freaking potato.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can't even...
If you want to do selfies, it's like, let it focus. It'll focus eventually. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, it's not even the focus that's the problem. It's so low resolution that
low
it's not
resolution.
even worth doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, hey, Apple, right? We love them. We got to love Apple.
I'm thinking about maybe getting one of the new Google phones
Yeah.
at some point in the future
heard
because
they're
those
pretty-
things look really
Didn't-
slick.
Okay, you're in Austin, so didn't they just move Fiber? Fiber's over in Austin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are
There
you,
are rumblings around of Google Fiber. I know that it's being plugged into a library that's spitting distance from my house.
Oh, really?
So I'm really hoping that means that it'll come around here. I got a letter from them with
really?
a little sticker that says "Keep
Ugh.
Austin wired,"
Oh my gosh, I would be so
and I
excited.
put that on the front of my house. So I'm really hoping.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be so awesome.
I'm moving up in like North Austin, like near. Is it Cedarville? Is it Cedarville?
I have no
don't
idea.
know.
I live towards the south side of town, so I had to. It's
Oh.
kind of hard to get from one side to the other
Yeah.
too. So when you're doing the learning process of the city,
Yeah.
it starts from your area and then
Then
radiates
it's-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna be using a GPS the entire time because I've never lived in
That's-
like a proper city before. I grew up on a farm, obviously, so literally.
That's what I do. I mean, it works perfectly fine. Are you kind of looking forward to getting into the city
I'm
life?
so excited. I'm so excited because I'm tired of the middle of nowhere. I live right now in Lynchburg, Virginia, which is Lynchburg
yes.
is a terrible sounding name in the first place. Lynchburg. Like, what do you do here? I don't know. It's Lynch.
Oh,
Uh,
not the thing that our town is named after. I
Yeah,
promise.
No, not anymore. No, it's fine. It's
Not
fine.
to people who don't say anything.
Exactly. Never leave here if you say that. But yes. RTX.
I've got a place you can hang out.
Oh man.
Sorry, I couldn't. I
You should
couldn't.
come hang loose at my place.
Yes, indeed. But now that RTX is over and
RT
all that good nonsense, I have recovered. I feel like a normal human being again.
Yeah.
I can make videos again. The interview that I put out like the 3 days before RTX with Barbara, I recorded that like a week in advance because I knew that was just not going to be worth anything.
I was looking at some of the people you were talking to. I was like, oh gosh, he's talked to Griffin, he's talked to Barbara, and it's like Bill Doran. I was like, oh god, it's like now I'm following up them, and like, oh gosh,
You are joining in the pantheon.
people are gonna
is
be
what
so
it is,
disappointed.
sir. You are joining in the pantheon. That's all. You're getting the Tim bump. I'm gonna steal it from Colbert because it works better for me.
People are gonna be looking like, oh, Tim uploaded a video. What's this? And like, oh, Stan. Oh gosh, like,
No, from what I understand,
we'll click
the crowd reaction was more like, "Oh, Stan."
It was.
Oh, Stan. I hear the ladies loved you.
I'm just gonna copy that little section there. I'm just gonna
Oh
get
my
the recording.
God! Oh, people have that forever.
And then I'm
I
like,
forget.
it
I
happens to be
forget
my
that
ringtone
sometimes
now.
when we.
Or whenever you text me how it is your text message noise. So like, oh, it's Tim. It's Tim again.
I forget sometimes that this is a recorded show with video.
Exactly. So people can use whatever they want. Even if it's you
sweet
making
mother of mercy.
sex noise.
I can just see 3-4 years from now, just getting gifs of that over and over again.
Like, hey, remember when you were making like moans on that one call? They're like, oh no. It's like you're running for
with
president.
that one guy. Who was that one guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I do.
I don't know, but he seemed like a pretty cool dude who doesn't afraid of anything.
Yeah, exactly. He's pretty open, like literally open to most things.
Yeah. So I believe that that's a pretty good kind of rounding off point for the main portion of the show, but we're not quite done yet. I love ending the show on the Inside the Actor Studios method, which is a series of questions. So I too have a reappropriated version of the Proust questionnaire.
Okay.
And it goes a little something like this. Stan, what's your favorite word?
Favorite what?
Word.
Word.
Sorry, I have a cold.
Hodgepodge. Hodgepodge. It's a good. Well, that might be 2 words.
No, it's one.
I think there's a dash in it. Hodgepodge. Maybe there's. I don't know.
What's your least favorite?
Discharge. It's disgusting. Isn't it gross? Discharge? That's disgusting.
There's not much good that happens from a discharge other than like shocking someone with static. There's not much good that happens from that. Yeah, I can see it.
Discharge.
What sound or noise do you love?
The cat or the sound that a kitten makes. When it makes.
And what sound or noise do you hate?
Gosh. A lot of people say like, something on a chalkboard, that's pretty annoying. But I hate when your fingernails scratch on a car. If you do it just right, I don't know why, it makes this terrible noise. And it's...
Yeah. It's the ring that only metal can provide. Because it vibrates just so perfectly throughout.
And it makes such a... I don't know. I just cut my fingernails too, so luckily I can't do that right now.
What hero do you identify with the most?
Hero. Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man.
What villain or villainess?
Catwoman.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The same kind of a movement prowess.
Yes, that's why. Halle Berry-ish. She was Catwoman, right?
I can see you looking like Halle Berry. Somebody please Photoshop
Did you know
that.
really quick, I'm sorry. Did you know Halle Berry got in a huge hit and run a few years ago, ran someone over and ran away, then got plastic surgery to cover up her cut, and then got caught later on and had to go to court and stuff. Huge deal. Anyway, you should look it up. I was listening to something about all these famous actors that have killed people or seriously hurt people. It's ridiculous. Anyway, next question.
Oh my God.
Next question. I'm sorry.
What turns you on, either creatively or spiritually? What gets your wheels going?
What gets my probably music. Music is a good thing, but it can't be music with if I'm trying to do work. I'll usually listen to music without words in it. Just because if I hear words, then I'm like, I get so distracted on the words. I'm like, what are they saying? So anything music with some sort of, I don't know, some
Like
upbeat tempo.
instrumental.
Yeah, like instrumental, but like a little bit of like sort of like electronic music, kind of like the Mass Effect like music. You know the music in Mass Effect. You played
Yeah.
Mass Effect. That music, it's great.
I will say this. I mean, that's what kind of video game level music is designed to
Yeah,
do. It's designed to be in the background and create atmosphere
yeah,
and a want to drive forward without becoming distracting.
hmm
So it's interesting to play like the songs in Mario Kart as you're driving down the
yeah,
road, you know, or something like that, or
yeah,
find some of the video game remixes that
yeah,
maybe do it a little bit more modern or complex or
yeah.
orchestral or whatever your particular
Yeah.
flavor is.
Like Guacamelee is on Xbox now for free, and I'm just started playing that. I've never played it. The music, it's so like it's like the luchador Mexican, but it's all like upbeat. I'm like, man, I should be a luchador now.
I really love that game. I got it on Steam
It's
when it
so
came
much
out
fun.
back
I haven't
then.
finished it yet,
Oh
but
God,
it's
it's
great.
great.
I just got the turn into a chicken power, or the Poya power, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
It's such a good game. I love it.
It's got such a great sense of humor.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
What turns you off?
Creative. What turns me off?
Yeah.
Well, right now, literally, what's going on? There's a screaming child downstairs. So whatever that is, I don't know. They have like a little baby downstairs, or maybe I don't know. It sounded like he was hitting something, so I doubt it's a baby. It's probably like I would say a 4-year-old. So screaming 4-year-olds, they don't do it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah.
What other talents would you wish you had been gifted with?
Uh, I wish I knew how to read music. I don't know how to read music. I can play the piano, but it's just from like
From
practice.
the ear.
Yeah, pretty much from ear. But I wish I could read music. It's literally like trying to read a different language. I can't
Yeah,
do it.
I hear you.
No.
And what advice would you give to your 13-year-old self?
Oh man, 13-year-old self. Uh, don't freak out so much about like middle school and high school because literally once you get past high school into college, all of that stuff doesn't really matter anymore. Because like at the time you're like, oh my gosh, this one girl didn't talk to me today. She hates me. And then it's like, no, you're
It
just
becomes such a big
yeah,
deal,
every
and
little
it's
thing.
not
I'm gonna
any
go listen
deal.
to System of a Down all day now. But no, it's literally just don't. Things aren't as big of a deal as you thought they were. So don't worry. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna live. It's not. Life is gonna be okay. Which at the time it's like, oh gosh, this is the worst. Life is terrible. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've spent many a day lying in a dark room with the blankets over my head.
Yeah.
Oh.
And some days that's totally fine. Obviously, some days it's like the only thing you can do is literally just lay in bed all day, which is totally fine. Just don't, don't.
Don't let that be every day.
Yeah, not every day, but it's totally fine to do. If you need like a day to do that, it's okay. But to keep saying,
Stan, what's something that only you do?
oh gosh. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to rein myself in to not say anything too disgusting. Hold on. What is
Why
something
do people always do that?
Is that what they? Yeah, I know. It's like masturbate. Yeah, what's something that only I do? Oh gosh, this is a really good question. This is a really good question. Gosh, hold on. What have people said before? What did?
No, you don't get
Okay,
to
fine.
phone a
Well,
friend.
I don't do that. Obviously.
This isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Only I do. Only, oh my gosh. Some nights I'm really into League of Legends. I don't know if you play League of Legends any. If you don't, you probably shouldn't because it's terrible.
Yeah, my roommate plays a lot, and he is
No.
well, he plays a lot. I think is the only thing I need to
Yeah,
say for people to understand.
I would say every night I fall asleep watching. Not every night, but a lot of nights I fall asleep watching League of Legends streamers on Twitch. On my phone, like all the lights out, I'm laying on my bed, It's on my phone's on the floor, and it's just like,
You know, most people used to fall asleep with a book, and then you find the book kind of splayed open in the morning.
oh, where did I end up?
It's kind of becoming that equivalent,
Yeah.
honestly, and so you can't fault anyone for doing it.
And I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, like falling asleep. I'll listen to a podcast and fall asleep with like that until like I don't think you can see this. Like this is broken now because of falling asleep with these plugged into me, and so I guess I like wrestle around. And sorry, keep going.
What's your favorite curse word?
Curse word. Hold on.
I know, so many good ones to choose from.
I'll say damn it almost all the time. Like it's just like such easy just to get out. Like that's probably my favorite.
It's fun to roll off
It's
the tongue.
easy. It's just like so fast. Like, or I don't know. Shit is pretty good too because that can be used for literally like cool stuff. Like, oh shit, that's awesome. Or it can be used for something really bad. So that's probably better because that can be like used in literally every scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you one day like to live?
Well, Austin. So that's where I'm moving to soon, which is really I'm super excited about that.
Soon to be mission accomplished.
Yeah. So Austin, and then if I could go anywhere, I like to live in London at some point. Obviously, hint there's a big British flag over there.
A big Union Jack up there.
Yeah. So,
So last question here.
all right.
If you had a choice, how long would it take you to respawn after you died?
11 seconds. 11.
That's an oddly specific time.
Exactly. But it's a good amount of time to look at my phone, not have enough time to check anything on my phone, but just look at it just to say, oh, okay, I've checked it. And then take like a sip of water, and then you're ready to go.
I love that even in the afterlife, you still can't be without your mobile device.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I need to look at
Or
my
a bev,
Yeah.
neither of which you absolutely need nor will have.
Nope. But
Because you're incorporeal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like to
that's
imagine.
hilarious.
I like to imagine I could.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no team killing though, so if I team killed, then it would be like at least 15 seconds. It'd be a little
Enough
bit
time
long.
for people to cool off
Yeah.
from what's happened. Maybe you deserved it and taunted the guy, and you're like, okay, I get it.
Fine. I'll wait a little bit longer. And it depends on how long the game's been going on too. If it's been going on for like 30 minutes, then the respawn times get longer. This is League of Legends stuff. I'm sorry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Stan, if people wanted to reach you, where could they do that?
Best way is probably Twitter, because that's hence why I said I was gonna check my phone. Twitter is @_Stan Lewis, STANLEWIS.
That's been underneath him this whole time.
Yes. Oh, thank you. It's right over in one of these two areas. But yes, Twitter is probably the best way. Or if you're on Rooster Teeth, then I'm on Stan Lewis on the Rooster Teeth site too. So either of those two.
Excellent.
And if people want to reach Tim, where can they reach you at?
My name is Tim Leftwich. They're watching this at youtube.com/Tim Leftwich. You can find me at Tim Leftwich on Twitter. Unified branding. And thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. You'll find all the links to everything we've talked about and all the clips that have been shown throughout the show down below. And let's see, the last thing. Oh yeah, you'll find an audio version of all of this episode as well as all of the episodes that I've done on soundcloud.com/Tim Leftwich. I think that's everything.
You did
Is
a
that
good
everything?
job. Yeah.
Yep.
Did a good
Excellent.
job.
Thank you so much for
Fantastic.
watching, everyone. Stan, thank you for
Fine,
being
of course.
on the show.
This is fantastic. I loved it. You are a
As
great
always.
host.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stan.
You're welcome.
As always, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
My very talented friends. And I know.
It's okay.
Let's try that again.
It's fine.
It's
always
been
hard.
probably like 2 weeks since I've done this.
A little rusty.
And
It's fine.
I just had a large lunch. We went to Home Slice.
Mm.